Nothing better than being young and successful. And on that note, that's what we're doing right now. We're talking to the top 20 under 40. We've divided it up into 4 podcast episodes, 5 each, rapid fire, 10 minutes each. We want to know how Long Island and Queens' best of the best realtors under 40 have gone from just stepping into the business to being at the top of their game at such a short period of time at such a very young age. So check it out. This is episode 1 of 4. Yeah, kid! Welcome everybody back to the 3rd episode now of Smells Like Cat Pee with Handsome. We rebranded. Things are going off crazy now. We're going to end this year big. We're going to go into next year big. COVID's still here, but I feel that today is the Jewish New Year. Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year to all my fellow Hebrews out there. This is going to be our year. I know it. So we got the top 20 under 40. For those of you guys who don't know, the top 20 under 40 is a very prestigious award that goes obviously to the top 20 real estate agents under 40 years old. These people are the best of the best at what they do in the industry and have basically achieved insane success at an extremely young age. So we're going to be doing 4 episodes, 4 weeks in a row, 5 per episode, rapid fire, 10 minutes. We're going to talk to them, who they are, what they do, where they work, and how they've become the best at what they do again at such a young age. So, yeah, Levy, to kick this thing off, we got the man, the Latin myth, the legend. He's been around for a while, but I just met him. He's got a sick new podcast with his man, James. If you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. Super charismatic, and he's been out there crushing it in the shadows for years. He is Senor Kevin Iglesias.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on, Charles.
Suited and booted. I feel honored, bro, because this is like, I feel like you're coming to a black tie affair.
I'm at a red carpet event right now, man. Come on, it's always VIP with you.
You look fantastic. You got the double Windsor knot thing going on right now.
Gotta look sharp.
I tried to figure that out. I watched a TikTok video trying to do that a couple weeks ago. It didn't work out quite as well. You look fantastic, sir.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And I appreciate it. I'm honored to be headlining this, starting it off.
So big things coming out of you, man. The funny part is, like, you just burst on the scene, what seems to be a few months ago, but you've been quietly killing it, door knocking, stacking sales in the shadows for quite some time.
Yes, sir. I've been I got active in 2016, and my business really took off in 2018. So it took me 2 years really to get busy and start seeing a lot of growth.
So 5 years in the game, but that's a lot of discipline, man. 2 years of repeated failure is more than most people can handle. Yeah,
I had to hear a lot of no's. I had to hear, get a real job. You know, it's not working out for you. But I just took it. I let that just motivate me even more. You know, I let that fuel the fire, and just kept going.
So you got into real estate, wasn't going as well as you thought it was going to. You ended up getting a full-time job to support your family while still pursuing real estate because you loved it so much?
No, I actually was fired. So I was like, all right, I have no backup plan now. So I had to pursue real estate full time. And when you have a plan B, you can't really focus on plan A. So I was like, I got to give this my all. This is all or nothing for me. So
from that point, when you were all in, was it still a 2-year process before you really started to get traction?
It took me a while. And I mean, I feel like 2 years and I really saw a lot of growth. You know, my first year it was terrible. I could have made more money like working at a fast food joint. No disrespect to the fast food workers out there, but you don't get into real estate to make that kind of money. You know, you go into real estate to reach financial freedom. So the second year did really well. And then it just started to grow and double after that.
Months 1 through 12.
Yeah.
Not doing well, right? Not making money. A, what's the mindset like to keep you going? And B, what are you doing? Because obviously it's like little things. Like I like to call it, it's like a hamster wheel, right? So you're like pushing the wheel, but it's not moving. You're pushing. All of a sudden the hamster wheel's like, shh. And you're like, shit, where'd all this business come from? But I'm curious to know like what your mindset was like during the first year before you started going and what you were doing to get your name out there.
I was just doing things the old school way. You know, I think fear was really holding me back the first year. That's why I didn't do as much business as I should have done. It was the fear of just rejection, fear of people telling me no, not having a resume, not having any past goals. And again, I didn't join a team, and I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know anybody in the business to help me out. So I really had to go on my own. And the reason why I didn't get a mentor, I screwed over a couple of things. Like, people would cut me with commissions, take money, and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it for my own. And I want to have that feeling of, because, you know, I grinded it out. I didn't depend on anybody.
So let me ask you this, because, you know, my thing is in the real estate world, when you're a realtor, you're basically running your own business. But there's not a lot of support. For all the brokers, for all of everything, there's really not a lot of support. There's not a lot of mentorship. Yo, Levy! Guys doing clips in the background. Oh! That's what I'm talking about.
There you
Handler's,
go.
Handler's happy now. Before he was pissed. He's like, I'm signing off. There's no confetti. Now there's confetti. I hope he's still on there. So, you know, what is your suggestion to realtors that are coming into the game? Where do they get the mentorship? How do they find it? Because otherwise people end up just giving up because they don't know. Or you get what you have right now, which is either people giving up or half the realtors haven't done any business at all.
Right. I mean, my advice would definitely find a mentor. You know, I'm very stubborn. I was hard-headed. I didn't want to. And then again, I was put in a situation that left a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do things on my own. But definitely find a mentor, somebody with experience who can help you out and guide you the right way. Have things written in contract so you're not screwed when it comes to closing, and you expect X amount of money, and then you see a check for less. So definitely have everything in writing and have somebody that you can trust, right?
So how do you find a good mentor? For those agents that are out there that are new, or agents that have been in the game and not doing any business and they need a mentor, what do you think the best way to find a good mentor is?
Look who the top producing agent is in your office. You know, speak to them, take them out for coffee or buy them lunch, dinner, etc. Find out, pick their brains, see what they're doing, see what their advice would be for you, and just get trained. You know, you definitely need the proper training, like you said, to succeed in this business. It's not just showing 3 houses and you get paid, or it's not as easy as everybody makes it seem, or as the world makes it seem.
No, it's hard, man. Being a realtor is very, very, very difficult. You can be out there breaking your ass every day, and it's tough. It really is. It's tough. So I want to talk about in the last couple of minutes that we have about social media. So you've been in the game for 5 years, right?
Yes.
How long ago so the podcast was really the beginning of your social media journey. Is that?
Yeah, it was basically like me coming out, introducing myself to the world, right? We launched in March. We shot March 3rd. We launched March 7th. So I was literally it hasn't even been a year that I've been on social media, but you know, it's picked up. I mean, the podcast is really taking off. So
talk to me, because I'm out there yelling at every single agent, like, yo, you got to do more video. Yo, you got to do more video. And some of them look at me like, bro, just get off my case about the video. You've now done it for a year. You have a podcast, very successful, Real Estate and Chill podcast. You're also doing some super cool. I mean, you're funny as shit. So it's, I got to credit where credit's due. Not every comedian is on the same level. You're very talented in many ways. But, you know, talk about in 60 seconds or less what being on social media and doing the podcast has done for your business.
Being on social media definitely put me out there to network with more people, meet new investors, meet you, first of all, because I heard your podcast and it was like, it felt like you were talking directly to me, right? And I was like, I gotta start a podcast. And I called James. The video we sent you, that's exactly how it went.
That video was super dope, man. I was dying.
Woo! It's always a party here. But heard your podcast, and I was like, you know what? I have a lot of experience, but people don't know that. Like, I don't really post much, and I got to start creating more content and doing more on my personal page. And you know, just getting out there just really put me on, I feel like, a different level, you know? I met so many people during the podcast, you know, people that I wouldn't have met, like you said, if I didn't have a podcast. You know, I had the guys from Ryan Sirhan's brokerage over here. We were having a good time. That's so dope. It's really dope. It's changed a lot, like you said.
Yeah, listen, and you're just getting started. It's like people out there, you could be the best of the best of the best, but it's like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody sees it fall, does it really fall? Same type of thing. You could be the best at what you do in the real estate space or in any business, but if you're not out there in social media, let's face it, This is where it's at. This is where people are spending their time. If you're not there, people don't know, and it doesn't matter. So, yeah, bro, my sincere apologies for all the microphone issues. It's still going to be dope.
No, okay.
Congratulations. I'm super proud of you, and I can't wait to see how you grow in upcoming years, all right?
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Handsome.
Later. All right. So we're going to try and I think we got this under wraps now. If it goes bad again, we're just going to pull the plug and stick it back in. We got my man, Richard Drury. Rich Drury is super diverse guy, super young, handsome as hell, dynamite head of hair. He's getting swole lately. I'm trying to get on his level. That's why I wore the extra tight shirt today. But he I don't know if he is, but he's definitely one of the youngest REO agents out there. I mean, people for years have been trying to get into REOs. Very difficult space. Very difficult to get in there and have asset managers trust you and build these relationships. He's skilled in REOs, short sales, traditional sales. Yo! What up? Yo, I was expecting to turn it in. There'd be like some fist pumping music.
Nah,
like
not yet.
It's like tropics in there. Are you still recovering from yesterday's shenanigans?
A little bit.
I said, you still recovering from yesterday's shenanigans? Was that you at Tropics I saw on IG?
That was me. I'm
That was
surprised
you?
I didn't see you there.
Dude, those days are over, man. My old ass is out at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm done. I can't do it.
Yeah, but
In order for me to...
You like the Latin salsa type stuff, so, and yesterday that was the vibe.
No, that was a past life. That's a past life. I'm off the sauce.
I know.
I'm on the wagon. So again, congratulations, top 20 to 40. That's huge.
Thank you. You know it's Batches. Batches made me do it, so.
Well, bro, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean,
I know.
How old are you?
26 now.
So you're 26, bro. I mean, I've been in real estate for 6.5 years. I've had agents on a daily basis being like, I really want to do REOs. How do I do REOs? REOs is very difficult, but forget about being difficult just to manage and do all the shit that you do on a daily basis. To be able to get the opportunity to list REOs and work with asset managers is insanely difficult.
Yes, I mean, it all happened from, I think I went over it at your podcast, actually. So how I ended up getting into this space was probably, I think it was short sales. I ended up negotiating my own short sale. The asset manager that was on the file, I think she previously worked for the REO division, so she was able to get me in. I don't even have her as a client anymore, but since I got one opportunity from her, doing I guess BPOs and then after doing so many BPOs for over a year or two, I finally got, I guess, a recognition that I needed in order to try to get at least one asset. Once I got that one asset turned to 5 turned to 10 turned to 20, and then so that's just how it went. So now
for people that,
with that being said, go ahead.
So for people that don't know, a lot of people out there, they think REOs is great. If you're an REO broker, that they just pump you with listings and it's like you're making 6%, you're putting out 4%. They don't realize. Tell everybody, the good, the bad, and the ugly about being an REO.
No, listen. There's good and bad to everything in real estate, right? So,
Drury, you're back in the game. What happened? No, I can't hear you. Take it out of your ear.
My bad, bro.
Just go with it. Nah, it's all good, man. Listen, you're on the Parkway. I know that you're coming back. So dive back into it, because I know people are super interested in hearing about the REO world, how it's not all it's cracked up to be, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
But
most people think you just put a lockbox on the house and sell it. It's not like that. You get the assignment, the initial assignment of the listing, probably right after the auction takes place. So let's say the bank takes the property back. I'll get the assignment the next day, and you're graded on your performance. So you're not going to get any assignments unless you do well. So when you get that assignment, you'll go out to the house within the first 24 hours to go and inspect to see if it's occupied. After you inspect that it's occupied, or if it's vacant, at that point you have to get contractors to estimate how, I guess, for a rekey, any kind of property maintenance that may be needed on the house prior to the marketing. But usual case scenario, they're occupied. So you're gonna go to the initial inspection. You're gonna find out it's occupied, and then when it's occupied, you're probably managing that house for at least a year to two. In COVID, you're managing it for like 3.
And you're not really selling anything either. So like
no, and there's always a chance. Like I was telling you, I probably had 8 to 10 assignments prior to COVID that just got reassigned to a different big brokers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, even on top of that, listen, there's no evictions. The moratorium is on. It doesn't matter what you do. Nothing can really be done. These people know that they can't be moved out. So I think another point is it's really important. People think that there's just one way they jump on this one train. It's just a gravy train. No, you have to have a very diverse business, even if you're doing what you're doing. You never know what's going to happen, bro.
Yeah, I know. You told me that. Now I'm getting a lot more traditional, and I'm still now. I guess I'm kind of trying to get back into doing some shorts again.
Yeah.
But just there's no incentive for these people. I have like a couple of files that just are not going anywhere because this keeps getting extended. So unless it's vacant, there's really no incentive for them to move forward.
But I think an important thing though is that it's not always great all the time. You can watch the trends and try to, but you took it on the chin and you made it through the last couple of years. But as soon as this comes to an end next year, you're going to be an absolute crazy man for the foreseeable future, at least the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and I mean, with this time that I was kind of like, I guess, slower, I've been able to get some more clients. So I think it'll be even better than it was, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I really don't know. Believe me, we couldn't foresee this coming this long.
No, this is
reality,
crazy.
I was like, okay, now I could finally actually like breathe. Because, I was getting a little bit overwhelmed when I had so many different, I had probably like 30 assets at a given time. You're going out there every week to inspect, you're getting contractor estimates, renovations, managing contractors, listing the properties, and then you're also the agent. So you list, sell, open houses, this, that.
Yeah, it's really is a lot of work. And what I want people to understand is, you're getting paid a commission when the property sells, but you're not getting paid until that happens.
Oh, no.
You could manage an asset for a year and they could pull it for some random reason.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're out.
Yeah, there's times that I've had the assets a year and a half, and then we go do like a reno bid, and I'm laying out the money for these expenses most of the time, and then they end up deciding now they want to rent it. You know what I mean? These are certain clients that I'm not working with as much anymore, just because I've noticed that they constantly do the same thing. They'll just end up assigning it to you. You're managing it for a year. They fix it up, and then they're renting it out. So you don't get the sale anyways.
So let me ask you this to close out. Obviously, the storm is coming. It's going to get crazy. What type of things are you? Because you had issues. Obviously, you were scaling very fast. There's a lot of back end operation stuff that we all deal with. What are you doing to prepare now for what's going to come down the pipe in the next 6 months?
In reality, I've kind of like my business was super dry that I have to just go back into traditional and try to focus on that. And I'm actually starting to do more videos on social media and stuff like that. So I'm not, believe me, I was already ready for it months ago, and I wanted to double down on everything. But then we like I said, it's till January now. So I don't know. Hopefully that's the ending.
Yeah.
But they're going to come up with, it's the holidays, it's cold weather, we can't throw people out now. This is the stuff that I'm hearing. So and not even just that. So I have some big hedge fund investors that with the REO, it has nothing to do with the eviction moratorium. It has to do with their guidelines. So let's say Goldman Sachs, for instance, doesn't want to have the headlines on them that they're
throwing people out. Yeah,
they're throwing people out. They won't do it for another couple months or a year. They'll wait to have they don't want that recognition or that. Not recognition, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they don't want to be associated with something like that. No,
but
they don't want the press.
In reality, it's gonna come to an end, and when it does, and that point, I mean, I kind of have to, like, I guess, go right back into it, double down. And I think even as Josh was mentioning, you got to hire assistants I just didn't delegate right when I was getting busy.
Yeah, but listen, you will. You got to be.
Do it all.
You can't be hard on yourself. You're super young. You're crushing it. Top 20 under 40. Youngest REO broker that I know. Congratulations. I appreciate you being here. Sorry for all the tech problems.
No, it's my end. I shouldn't be in the car right now. I'm sorry.
Nah, all good, man. You're on your hustle, and I love you for it. I'll check you later, all right? Thank you.
Definitely got to connect soon.
100%. Later.
I'm watching this whole thing happen. I'm like,
Bro, it's a shit show today. You know what? On the way to work today, I hit every light, and I got stuck at a train track with a train that was coming. I'm like, today's going to be a fucked up day.
right from there, just shows.
I've powered through it. It actually hasn't been that bad, but on the tech side, it's been a fucked up day. So, congratulations. Top 20 under 40. That's a huge honor, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You look fresh. How long you been in the business for?
About 5 years now.
5 years in the business. So talk to me about, the evolution of Josh Benitez, year 1, year 2, year 3, because it definitely didn't start out with sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. So year one was kind of tough. I started kind of shadowing another agent who's been in the business 20 years, and I kind of picked up his bad habits. And I really
that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that could happen. I tell a lot of new agents coming in, like, you can listen to the ideological person that's been in the business 20 years, but they may have been in the business and not grown 20 years, right? They may have just been doing the same old thing. So I kind of had that for the first 6 months, shadowed, didn't really pick up great habits. And then I got really in tune with what my company had, and I started going to their trainings. I started doing what actually mattered in this business, right? That top 20%. And from there, year 2 came, sold a couple homes, nothing crazy. My first year, I listed like 10 homes, but really didn't sell anything. It was funny. And then
how did you sustain? So I'm sorry, just so people will get it. Just so everybody knows out there, what brokerage are you referring to? Who are you with right now that offer all that great training?
Yeah, I was with Keller Williams Realty, and I still am. So I didn't know it's funny. First 6 months, like I said, I was mentoring that agent that really didn't show me the way. Yet I was still part of Keller Williams. I didn't go to their training because I didn't even know it existed. I kind of just joined and I didn't pay attention.
So how did you sustain like lifestyle and everything and just your mental capacity during that first year where you weren't doing any business?
I knew I was the youngest one in the industry, and there was only up from there.
No, it's true. So but you got 10 listings in the first year, but you didn't sell any of them?
Correct. Half of them were probably short sales. The others were overpriced. Okay. I didn't know what I was really doing, right?
Okay.
I could close, but I couldn't price, right? The short sales took way longer. And then the second year, some of those closed out and a few others that came. And then from there, it was just an uphill train.
So what are some of the things that you did to really, start to propel the business up?
So like I mentioned, it was the top 20%. And for those people who probably don't know that, I'm referring to the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 principle. Most people know it. It's focusing on the 20% of activities that actually mattered, the 20% that would lead to 80% results. So things like that, the main thing that most agents should be doing, in my opinion, is something called lead generation, right? Or lead creation or prospecting is another way. All it is having conversations with people. And all I did was focus on that day in and day out. I made that half of my productive day to be doing that 4 to 6 hours every single day.
And do you still to this day do the same thing?
Yeah, 100%. That's the only way to grow. It doesn't matter what business you're in.
So a lot of agents, like, they'll do a deal and then they'll come to me and be like, Charles, I'm freaking out because like I just got this deal, but like, where's my next deal coming from? I'm like, you need to be doing this stuff all the time. And they kind of feel, I think agents or just people in business feel that it's just like one thing or two things. Talk about the different type of prospecting methods that you do on a day and the frequency of how you do them.
Yeah. So, you're right about that, right? Some agents just think they're transactional. They think one transaction, they run that roller coaster of, I have a listing, I got it sold, and then, I got nothing, right? And The only way you could sustain an uphill trend is if you're consistently going out there and speaking with people and asking for business. And different ways you can do that. And everything works, right? You can do literally anything as long as you're having conversational and you're being purposeful about it. It can work. Things that I've been doing most recently, I've been focusing on a farm area, right? Just a direct area, because I believe in being the big fish in a small pond rather than a small fish in a big pond. Other things I've been doing is agent referrals. That's actually huge for me. I'm kind of the go-to person for Long Island when it comes to Keller Williams agents nationwide, and a few other companies out there too. So I'm kind of their go-to. And then social media, of course, right? Yeah. I'm young. You're on social. A lot of people are as well. It's free advertising, right? If you could build an organic brand and really build around that, it produces things down the line, compounding.
So a lot of the greatest agents of all time, your Brian Karps, your Larry Theodores, they all started, they have like a town. Like Larry Theodore is like Mr. Farmingdale. Yep. You can't go anywhere. You can't eat anywhere without seeing Larry Theodore. Yep. And then there's been kind of conflicting views about that. But in general, I think it makes sense. You start in one area, you saturate that area, become the number one agent in that area, and then you branch out from there. Is that basically what you're doing? Yeah,
it's market share. It's mind share, right?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So there's a lot of agents out there that are watching this. They're younger agents or they're newer agents. They don't know how to get started. I think there's a lot of general frustration. There's a lot of lack of education with agents. What is your advice to these younger agents, these newer agents, these agents that aren't doing a lot of business to get where you are?
Understand that lead generation is the core of your business. I would say that's the number one thing, and get with a company that's going to continuously put you to the next level, right? Train you to the next level, no matter what level you're at, whether you are the Larry Theodore or the Brian Karp, they have levels beyond them, right? So have a company that can go and take you to each level, no matter where you are.
So something else that we haven't discussed, you and I, but I'm sure you're dealing with it now. If you haven't dealt with it already, if not, you'll be dealing with it in the near future, which is scaling your business by delegating. Because if you're out there just prospecting, there's a ton of just transactional stuff that isn't really the highest and best use of your time that has to be dealt with. How do you go about outsourcing and scaling your business and building your infrastructure? Because I think that's every business person's problem, mine included.
Yeah, so it's systems first, right? I believe in leveraging technology before you leverage people, although people will take your business into an empire. So at first, I leveraged with technology. Right? Make sure my systems are in place. Automatic things that I could just set and forget it, that would happen no matter what. Systematizing everything, customer experience, generation, whatever it is, whatever kind of systems you as an agent have in place, just automate using technology. Once that's leveraged at the highest capability and you maxed out on your time, you go and leverage people. And for me, it started with an assistant, and I would recommend everyone to start with that first. I see teams all over the place on Long Island, which, I'm sure many of them I've had a conversation with. I'm not in a huge agreement with the business model, right? With hiring salespeople first. You have to build infrastructure. You have to scale through operations, right? In order to then push out more sales. So it's getting someone on the back end and people leverage.
No, that's smart. So I think a lot of agents that are listening to this are saying, all right, I'm doing X amount of deals a year. And I'm sure it's different for everybody, but at what point do you feel like it's time to start bringing on systems? It's time to start bringing on people. Like what are the milestones, like number of sales per year? How does it work for you?
I would say when you hit the average, which is about 6 transactions, your system should be your priority. Okay. Right? Once you hit about anywhere between 15 and 30, depending on who you are, right? Because everyone's wired differently. Some of us can sustain 30 by ourselves. Other of us can do 20 and we're like running crazy. So anywhere between 15 and about 30 transactions, you leverage your first assistant. And you go from there. You see what else you need, what's broken in your systems, and you take it like that.
I love it, man.
Then you should hire an assistant after that.
Listen, super valuable advice. I'm very impressed with you from this podcast. I've seen you grow up over the last couple of years, and I wish you nothing but the best. And again, congratulations on the top 20 under 40. I'm going to go back to my man Drury for a couple minutes since we dropped him early, and then on to the next. But really, congrats, man. You're doing great.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Charles.
Take care, brother. Mr. Zimmerman,
What's up, man?
how you doing, man? Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you. You as well. How's it going?
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like I said at the beginning of this thing that this is our year, bro. This year is our year. I'm convinced. So you got a lot going on in the world. I think you got a new baby, a relatively new baby, right?
I do. So I've got a 3-year-old daughter, and then I've got an 8-month-old son. So
Wow, you have two new kids.
two. Hands are tied, but it's all good things, man.
So let me ask you this question. You have a lot of agents that are out there that are saying, can't find a business. There's no business. I have problems listing properties. I have problems getting my office accepted. You know, you're part of a great team. You work with Josh Handler. You have 2 kids. He just had a baby. You guys are crushing it. No excuses, bro.
No, listen, there will be things, there will be reasons, but especially, with our group, not having time is not an excuse that we're going to listen to. You know what I mean? It's that whole just don't be denied, right? There's always time. You can always find time to do something that you want to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's something that we definitely reiterate is no, not having the time, struggling to make the time is definitely not something that is going to work here.
So you guys also made a big move recently. Congratulations. You went from exit. Now you're with Keller Williams. So through all of this, you're building the team, right? So, talk about that. I mean, again, you personally achieving top 20 under 40 while building the team. Talk about the team structure, what it does for you, how rewarding it is, how beneficial it is if other people are thinking about joining a team at some point or starting their own team at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. We made this move only a couple months ago, but at the same time, we were actually just in the middle of building this team. So for the most part, we're relatively new. We probably brought on close to a dozen new agents in the industry over the past, say, 8 to 9 months. So when Josh and I sat down and we started, taking off, and obviously it's hard to sit back and start, it happens so fast, right? And things start to go and business starts to come, and we say, hey, what are we going to do here to not only be able to expand our business and ensure we're taking care of everybody the way we want to, but, get other people involved so that they can, we were missing clients and we were missing leads, and we weren't even coming close to, capturing all the business that we felt we actually could. So we put our heads together. We decided that the team structure was going to be exactly what we needed to do. Keller Williams kind of went in and made that structure for us more plausible. You know what I mean? As far as the way their business model is set up and things like that. So it made a ton of sense. And then it was just a way for us to kind of get these new agents in because, and I think this has led to what's made us so successful is that, we kind of came in, we didn't really have too much training and any of that background stuff, right? We were kind of left to kind of grip it and rip it. Go make it work. Go figure out a way to make it work. And I think that's important. I really do. I think that's what's helped us get there today. But there is a whole piece of, information and the way things are supposed to go that was missing and lacking for us. So as far as building the team and bringing on these new agents and things like that, what we can offer from leads to training to information to how to just, from paperwork to talking to people, I think is really important, especially for somebody who's trying to get their feet wet, especially someone in 2021.
So I want to break this down for a little bit. So everybody knows that I have this thing, I call it broker beef, where I feel like the majority of brokers are not, giving the training, not giving the education. And a lot of agents fail or they just don't do any transactions. And you hear these statistics, there's 48,000 agents on MLS, half of them haven't done any deals. Yep. So when I look at you and I look at Josh and I look at other people like yourselves that have a team, I'm looking at you like you're a broker. Even though you're working under a brokerage, you're essentially a broker owner. Exactly. So how do you, motivate and train the people on your team to succeed? Because it's obvious that they are, and what you're doing, brokers should be doing, and they're not.
Yeah, absolutely. So we push, we definitely push, and we try to pull some of these guys out of their comfort zone. We show them, hey guys, listen, we started here, we came from nothing, we built our own business from scratch. We didn't have all the training that we're providing to you guys right now. So it can be done, but we're just trying to show them that, we have them involved in everything we do. So they see us selling houses, listings, representing all these buyers, and it's just getting them excited. So we're kind of, trying to get them involved and coming on appointments with us and things like that, just to kind of keep them excited because, there will be failures, right? And we know that if you're not okay hearing the words no, then you're never going to make it here. So we're just trying to make sure they understand, right, that while sometimes people may make it look easy, we might make it look easy. You know, you go on social media, you see all these people. It's not, you know, and just keeping them motivated, you know, providing them with leads and things like that is has been the key so far. And we've got a bunch of new agents who have just, you know, locked in their first deals over the past 3, 4, 5 months. So we're getting there. We're really happy with the progress that we've made.
So, I mean, two of the things that I've been watching you guys do via social media that you didn't talk about, but I want to give you credit for is you guys are very, very big on training. And you're very big on investing in your agents. You spend big money. I don't know how much, but I see it. You spend big money on training with different people, you know, outside of the space, lead generation. Josh is out there doing a great job cranking it out on social media, acting as a mentor, showing people on the team what it's like and what you have to do to really get your name out there. So, I mean, kudos to you guys. It makes sense. It pays off. It's working.
That's the thing, you know, and we tell them, hey, listen, guys, you know, we'll invest in you if you guys are going to be willing to invest in yourselves. You know, we know you're not going to come in and just start selling houses like crazy right off the bat. But if you guys give us the time and energy and you guys show us how excited you can be, we have no problem spending whatever the money is that's going to kind of take us all to where we want to be. So
no, listen, my hat comes off to you. Congratulations. You guys are running a great operation. Congratulations on the new baby. And I look forward to watching you guys and the team growing in the upcoming years. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Take care.
All right, man.
The queen is here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Feels a little surreal.
This is a big deal.
I know. Because I was talking to you, I guess, when I went on your podcast. And at the time, it seems like, you know, I don't know. So I'm super excited.
So I know you've heard the story. You've obviously lived the story. But for anybody who's watching or to be listening to this, I want to tell the story quickly. Literally seems like yesterday that we ran into each other. You were talking to Dan. You were with Douglas Element. We're hanging out at that networking event. How long ago was that? Was that 2 years ago? 3 years?
Yeah, just about 2 years now.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now you switched over. You're with Signature, and you're a star.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I feel like a big part of it was being able to surround yourself with, you know, like-minded agents that had the same, you know, goal in mind. So once I joined Dan's team, I feel I really took off, and I thank him for a lot.
So what I want to talk to you about, you and I have been having this battle about social media where I poke at you repeatedly to be like, make videos. You're so funny. Like if ever I watch other people's stories and you're out, I'm like, she's so much fun. Like I want to be out hanging out with her. So you're doing a lot of business and you're not really going down the social media route.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I keep a lot of relationships in my back pocket, and you know, I always try to do the right thing, and I always did the right thing growing up. So I feel like a lot of people reach out to me from the past, and I just have a strong circle of, you know, friends and old colleagues and stuff. So they've been really good to me.
So are you out there constantly doing lead generation, or are you just a very social person who has an extensive network just because you're nice and you're fun and people really like you, and as a result, it just keeps turning over opportunities? Pretty
much, just from being in sports and working and bartending and working in restaurants and just having decent amount of people that, you know, I guess I was friends with or did the right thing and they just liked me. So that I feel like they're constantly reaching out. So that's always that's been my business pretty much. So I'm curious to know,
everybody has something that they want to work on in their business, right? Myself included, everybody. What's the one thing right now where you're like, you know what, I really need to get better at this, and this is how I'm going to do it?
Obviously, social media, for sure. I mean, I want to, I need to put myself out there and be more on video. And I feel like I need to get over the hump of just getting over what I look like or what I sound like and just put it out there. But honestly, that's the biggest struggle right now. And you know that. And Dan knows, and he beats me up over it too. But honestly, that's really it.
But you know what? I can't even. It's funny because I'm gonna actually do an about face now. For as much as I busted your chops, I'm like, you know what? You're doing your thing. maybe it's not for everybody. Like you're doing a lot of business and you're doing it without it. So I guess everybody has their kind of niche about, how they go about and get business.
Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly reaching out to people. I'm constantly staying in touch. So I'm like, I'm good. I don't do any Zillow really much anymore. It's all referral and all personal business. So I'm happy about that.
So let me ask you this question. You gained traction in a very short period of time. A lot of agents that I talk to are always worried because they have the one deal and then they're like, oh, this is great, but where's my next deal coming from? And they start freaking out because they don't have this pipeline.
Yeah.
What do you say to agents about that? What do you say to agents about how to build their pipeline so that they're not nervous, so they have consistent flow?
I guess just like keep warm relationships, constantly reach out to family. I think I reached out to every single person in my contact list on my phone. And I was like, hey, just want to let you know I'm in real estate. I'm super excited. Like, give me a chance. And then I constantly, touch them, or I comment a lot on everyone's Facebook, pictures, events, whatever. And, I feel like they reach out and they're like, oh my God, I see you're killing it. Like, I would love for you to help me, or they have a question about the process. So I always take time out of my day to fill them in or educate them. And I feel like that has definitely gone a long way. And it may not have happened overnight, but over the last couple of years, it's definitely people have come around and came back to me. So
how long did it take you to start getting traction? Because to me, it feels like you right out the gate, 3 months into it, you were doing deals.
Yeah. So, when I was at Douglas Elliman, I didn't really feel like I was getting business right away. And then once I switched over to Dan's team, I honestly just every single lead I possibly had, I just I told you, beat to a pulp. I just wouldn't leave them alone. So I feel like I just followed up with people, and the follow-up, came back around, and with COVID hitting, and then everything just exploded after COVID. So
how important is the follow-up? I've been trying to do, my goal next year is to flip 200 houses. So now we're getting into basically every possible way to generate leads. And a lot of these people, we're chasing them for years, what seems like forever. They'll curse me out and I'll be like, okay. And then a month later, I'm like, hey, it's Charles. Remember you cursed me out, told me to F myself. Well, how are the kids? What's going on? I heard you got that new boat.
Yeah.
How important is the follow-up, and how long do you take it before you're like, all right?
I don't know. I feel like I followed up with people for 3 years now. People have come back to me now after 3 years, and they're like, hey, we fell out of it, but we just want to do it again. So, just keep in touch, making sure on every holiday you reach out and you say, hey, thinking about you, even if, and just say, if you have any questions, or feel free to reach out. And usually 8 out of 10 times, they'll come back to me or answer. And I feel like you kind of have them there. So
what's your advice to new agents on the team structure, how to pick a broker, how to pick a team?
Honestly, just finding the right mentor, finding the right people to work with as far as, lenders, attorney. I feel like once you start surrounding yourself with people that do good business and that do the right thing, I feel like then you tend to just blossom. And if they help you, you help them. And that's honestly been a good part of my business taking off, is just surrounding myself with the right people and the right mentor and the right community.
No, that makes sense. Couldn't say it any better myself. Again, congratulations. I really appreciate you taking out the time.
Thank you for having me.
It's awesome to watch you, over the last couple of years really blossom. And I look forward to seeing you continue to grow over the next couple of years.
Awesome. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later. All right, everybody. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll try to be better next time, which we always are. Top 20 under 40. That was the first five powerhouses. Every single week, every Tuesday, we're bringing it to you live right here. Next week, we have the following 5. Like I said, we're going for the next 4 weeks. Check me out. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we see you on next week's podcast. Smells Like Cat Pee with Handsome. That's a wrap.